everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I have the update for Expand Those Pans. This was created by Dora. She's linked down below, and it is, as the title suggests, you work on eyeshadows that you've already hit pan on, or maybe products, I don't know, and you try to expand the pan. So I roll in 3 eyeshadows, and then I pick a cream colored shadow as a 4th shadow to work on. My goal is to hit 5 uses on these shadows, and the cream colored shadow I try to hit 10 uses on, and I try to keep the ball rolling, and I try to make sure I hit my goal every time that I update, just to keep it interesting for myself. Last time it didn't really work out. We had one shadow that was staying in because I didn't quite hit my 5 uses on that shadow, but this month we've done great. I have loved all of my shadows, so let's go check them out. If you can hear some purring, my cat is here with me once again because she cannot let her mom film a video by herself. She needs to be here. She curled up in a blanket. I think she doesn't know what the way out is. Okay, so she's rolled up in a blanket. You might hear her purr. I don't know. So first up, we have the cream colored matte shadow. This is the shade Bittersweet. I always doubt myself. Bittersweet from the from a Zueva palette. I've depotted all mine. I had 3. I depotted them, so they're singles now. So I will put on the screen what this shadow looked like when we rolled it in, and here we have it today. So I have surpassed the 10 uses. I have just been using this every day to set my primer. So we're well over 15 uses in already, maybe even like 20, I don't even know. But there's that one. Is it the most exciting one? No, but it is another one that I might try and finish at one point this year. I hope I can. So there's that. And then we move on to a shadow that's also in this little palette. This was the one that we didn't quite hit the goal on last month, and it is the shade Rome by Makeup Beauty Shop. Now, you know I love my Makeup Beauty Shop singles. They are amazing. This one is a little bit difficult to use because it's a little bit darker, and it also is sort of a topper, so I'm not really sure what the best way is to use this, but here it is today. Hoping you can see. In the photo I barely had a visible pan, and now it definitely does. These shadows are quite soft, so they do move. So I can sort of manipulate when I put my brush in it, that I push it away. I'm happy that I got my 5 uses, my total 5 uses on this shadow at least this month, and that it's rolling out and making place for something new. Then I have another Makeup Beauty Shop I was gonna say single shadow, and it's from the Serpent palette, and I was working on the shade Reincarnation, and that is right here. Now this one, I don't think the pan expanded too much because I would dip my brush into it and I would just move the product back down, so the pan would disappear and reappear every time I would use this shadow. That's also a thing that you can have with the soft formulas, but I got my 5 uses out of it. It is a nice shadow. It's again more of a topper, so it gives your shadows this pinky blue sheen, and it worked perfectly as a topper. I liked it a lot. I could pair it with a lot of different colors. It would just give my look a little something special. So there's that one. And then the last one is probably my favorite shadow. It comes from the Juvia's Place Zulu palette, and I was working on shade number 2, and that is the yellow. Now this one took me a while to hit pan on, but here it is right now. So it had a tiny pan. I think we did some expansion, but I mainly use this with a very fluffy brush in my crease. So I don't think it's that super noticeable, but again, I got my 5 uses out of it and I loved every second of it. I love this shade of yellow. It's so gorgeous. So there's that. And that means we are rolling 4 shadows. Well, we're rolling 3 and then picking a cream colored matte, which could very well be the same one that I'm working on right now. Who knows? Who knows? So let me find my wheel with eyeshadows with pan. I think it's mostly up to date. I'm not really sure, honestly, but there's 141 options, so if some are missing, I don't think that's a big deal. We have enough to choose from. So let's go and see what we're gonna roll. ColourPop Right Hand Mando. Okay, pretty sure that's a like silvery green shimmer. Beauty Bay Gleam. I think that's a purple shimmer. And then Beauty Bay Bright Nectar. Oh, so it's from the Bright palette and it's the shade Nectar. I think that's a gold. So I'm gonna go check, get my shadows, and I will be right back. Okay, the urge to roll in another one is very big, but I'm not gonna do it because 3 shadows seems to be enough of a challenge for me. So for the cream colored matte, we're just gonna stick to the one that we're already working on. So this wave shadow. Then the shadow from ColourPop Right Hand Mando. This is from the ColourPop The Child palette. Here's what mine looks like. So there's a tiny pan in here. It is like a silvery greeny shadow, so we'll be working on that. 5 uses for that one. Then Beauty Bay Gleam. This comes from the 9 pan Midnight, and I've repressed it in the circle pan. Here is what mine looks like. I don't even know if you can tell the pan is right there. It just looks like shadow. But there is a tiny pan. This again, it's a very flaky and soft formula, so I don't know how much the pan will expand, or maybe I will just push it down instead of growing the pan, but we're gonna use it 5 times. And then Beauty Bay Nectar is still in its original packaging, and that is right there. Can you see the pan? There you have it. So it's a very pretty gold. I do really like this shade. So there's that. Here are the swatches. These are the shadows. So we have the ColourPop one, the Beauty Bay Gleam shadow, and then this is Beauty Bay Nectar. I love that gold. That looks stunning. And then we'll be working on the cream colored matte. I did not swatch that because it's just a cream colored matte. So there you have it. There is the update for Expand Those Pans. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out Dora, and I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.